Zach, thank you so much for showing us this wonderful facility, Memorial Stadium, redone, right? When were all these wonderful renovations done?
Okay, the premium seating area, this opened up in the 2008 football season.
Okay.
This was part of around over $120 million renovation
Wow.
in 2008, 2007, 2008 range. This opened up. So that was the first year for it. And Eastern Illinois actually was our first opponent for that season. That was the first visiting team that came in.
So $120 million for a place that's used 6 times a year. But, as I understand, this is not paid by the tax dollars. This is not paid by tuition. This comes as a self-supporting entity because of both the football, the television revenues, and all of the other events that you can have here.
That is correct. Yeah, we have not only our home football games, and last year we had 7. This year we'll have 6 home games here on site. But this is used throughout the year as well for different events. Outside rentals are used in this area, and currently in the premium seating area.
Okay.
It is used the upstairs, the Colonnades Club, especially is used for weddings. And other outside events that people rent out the facility for, especially in the summertime. You'll have every weekend there'll be a lot of weddings coming out there.
Wow. All right, hey, let's go see the place.
All right.
Okay. And this is where you'd have like wedding receptions sort of things.
Yes,
right?
This is the main level where all wedding receptions are held. Also, there's a lot of outside rooms, different groups. We have our DIA all-staff meeting up here. Currently, actually, as well as of today, our student athletes. This is where they have their dinners in the evening.
Okay.
So all of our student athletes would come up here.
Wow.
As well in the evening. But yeah, this is again the Colonnades level. It's the outdoor seating is your permanent seating, and then you have your indoor commies, your concession stands, bathrooms are all inside.
Right. Can we get? Oh,
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh, that even stays open.
Yes.
Look at this. I love it. Everyone's got a cup holder, right?
There you go.
Because here you can drink, right? I mean, there's bars, right?
That's correct. Yeah.
And this is right.
The only portion of the stadium where alcohol is served is in our premium seating levels. So our suites, 77 Club, and Colonnades level.
Right. Now the economics. If I want to sit here instead of like way up there, where I'm sitting, what's the procedure? You have to also donate money to the athletic association too, right?
There is a process, and I will say I am not that guy, but a lot of each section is based off of a yearly contract. You guaranteed so many years, and you'll pay a certain amount of money each year for one ticket. And
it's not cheap, everybody. I remember doing the math on this before, especially when we go up to the private boxes. It's if you average it out like per ticket per seat, not here, but upstairs, it's in the thousands per ticket per seat that you're paying. Here, it's certainly in the couple hundred, I would think. It would come out that way. You have to buy the $55 ticket too.
Well, yeah.
But you can see that your experience from watching a game from here, as opposed to the other 50,000 people, is a premium experience. And one of the reasons that the boxes are useful is because they're done often by corporate entities. Fox Development, for instance, who built many of the buildings in the research park, including the one my small business rents, does this, and it's an extra bonus because you get to know Peter Fox a bit, and every couple of years, maybe you get a couple tickets to his box, right? And that's why I've been in his box, not because I ever paid for it myself. But it's a guest, and the interactions and the things you can do are and the other people you're talking to is pretty neat. So I can see for someone that has a large company that's in tune with the town why it's an important investment. Mm-hmm. Right. Great. And you guys, since you're not going to be paying hundreds of dollars a seat, you get to see it today.
There you go, right?
That's right.
It's a pretty good seat. You get the overhang. So
I know. So out of the sun, out of the rain. Yeah. Wow. And what is the seating capacity now of the stadium? 63,000. Okay. So the reason this is called Memorial Stadium is it memorializes the veterans that died in World War I. The World War. At least at that point, it wasn't called World War I. right? They weren't predicting, oh, what more, we got to start. This was the World War. And you will see a column, and you'll see their names inscribed on each column, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So the names, their unit, very impressive. And how many names are on all the columns? I think it's on the order of 100.
Right, because you're going to have this is identical replica on the east side as well. Right. Have a whole other stretch of columns on the east side as well.
Right.
This is, you guys can access this on game days without actually having a premium seating ticket.
Oh, really?
The tower ramps, if you go down the bottom level, you'll see a sign on the tower ramps that say columns. And the ramps will lead all the way up here, so you could actually bring your family and friends up here without having a premium seating ticket.
Wow, I didn't know that. And we get a pretty good view of, of the power plant, which we visited, and the supercomputer center, which we visited. Now, like Peter Fox's suite, the other ones are much smaller than this, which you can kind of get a feeling for. But the cool thing is that there's a seat for each person if you want to sit here and watch the game. And some of these windows actually open up partway. Not the ones in front of the stairways, by the way. Learn that. But so you can get some outdoor feel and noise. And of course, there's video screens everywhere that have the game on it. And, bartenders and food. And it's neat. I mean, it's not something I don't think I would ever pay for personally. But a couple, once a year, get some invitation up to one of these. And not only do you get the wonderful experience of the game and the food and the drink, but the people you're talking to, right, are also usually, like if you get invited here, which I've never been, but, the chancellor, the president of the university, and talk about stuff. TV is what really powers the economics of this whole system.
Yeah.
Maybe we have 60,000 people watching the game live, but there will be millions watching it on television. And those contracts are for many millions.
It's always kind of funny to see when we play a non-conference school. Most Big Ten schools are kind of used to this setup, but when we bring in, let's say, Eastern Illinois or Illinois State, when they come up here and see kind of what they get to work out of, they're fairly impressed.
Yeah, they're and having a 60,000 seat stadium, right? You might not recognize that, but Eastern, right? Everyone's heard of the school, but the stadium for the football is more just like a slightly bigger version of a high school football stadium. I mean, there's the bleachers, right, on each side, a couple layers.
Yeah, some main grandstands. And,
yeah.
But,
so this is really the big time.
Big Ten Conference football, it is right up there at the top, arguably, with SEC and all of them. So.
Yeah, and it's big business.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is the media level. So on game days, you have, if you take a look up here, you've got about 3 rows of media seating. So this is everybody covering the game from
newspaper reporters,
television networks, whoever is here covering that specific game. So this whole stretch of area is for them. This is also used for other press conferences throughout the week. Do you ever see on FightingIllini.com the Coach Gross or other head coaches, when they have their press conference, they hold it up here as well on this side of the area. You can see kind of all the pictures up here they redid. They put kind of former Illinois athletes. I'm sure most of you probably would be familiar with D. Brown, Darren Williams.
Yep.
That's probably the closest you guys will probably remember, but kind of every Sports Illustrated cover that an Illinois athlete was
So D.
on.
Brown was on the cover, huh?
Yep, that year we went to the national title game.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah. And you can see how the things slide here. You can see better outside. Of course, they've got the seats so they don't get faded by the sun, right? But you can sit down here and see the game, or you can be back up here eating and drinking. You would think that you would get free food and drink for paying so much. Well, you do if you're a guest, of course, but actually the suite owners still have to buy the alcohol and the food, and like the dessert cart that comes through, it's not free, but you don't pay anything at the time, right? They just sort of keep track and then bill the suite owners. So, and they have service people, probably event field staff that works for you. You don't just have to, you'll have somebody mixing your drinks for you and making sure, oh, you need this or this or this. And I remember we were at one, and And I said, oh, my wife Marilyn was with me, and I said, oh, what would you like to drink? And she said, oh, well, do you have some Irish whiskey? She likes, Jameson. And the guy was just aghast. He says, oh, we don't, but I'll get it for you. And she was saying, I'll have something else, it's fine. Oh, no, that's my job, right? And like in 10, 15 minutes later, boy, there was a bottle of Jameson there. And, very good event staff.
Yeah, it's all of the catering last season was ran by University Housing, so they handle all of that. Actually, down on the second floor, I believe, is the kitchen area, and that's where they run all their operation out of. So I'm
not sure how much Peter Fox had to pay for that bottle of Jameson, but man, for his gas, it got there.
Right.
So, right. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty okay. Let's see the field. So I got to tell you something about the field. This is artificial turf, but it looks like, oh my God, there's dirt. But this is the coolest stuff. It's rubber dirt. It's something like ground up tires, better than that. And so it has the feel of real grass, because this is actually, I think it's 6 inches deep.
Yeah, it is a full level.
Yeah, so 6 inches deep, and the artificial grass that comes through, is that long, right? I mean, it's like you have all this dirt with the grass coming through, just like you would real dirt. So your cleats dig in and everything, and it has some cushion and give to it, and it drains. And that's the most important thing, because below that are drainage channels, right? So when it does rain, all the water will drip through, and you won't have a muddy mess and break legs and everything else. So yeah. So look, you can take some just like you've come to a coal plant, gotten coal. You can take some dirt, in quotes, from Memorial Stadium. Rubber pellets.
All permanent. I mean, there's no painting required. This is all just set.
You ever want to change the logo? It's a lot of work.
Yeah. If you want to actually.
Right around the edges. They're not all out.
Right now, they're being taken down for marathon. But yes, during football season, those are up. All of those too.
But it is cool. The marathon will end right here.
Yep.
50-yard line.
Right across.
And again, that's one of the other nice uses of the field.
Right.
You no longer let the intramural football league play here, though.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't handle that.
No,
I think they play the indoor
Yeah.
sometime
Okay.
during the winter time. The indoor.
When this was long before the remodeling, long before the fancy field.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I've been here a long time, but 25 years ago, they'd also used the field for the intramural flag football.
Okay.
They had it arranged. But,
yeah. No, we're still involved a lot with intramurals with the indoor facility during the winter time. Yeah. Every night, actually.
The indoor facilities use that makes sense.
For different rec sports.
Well, this is a very impressive facility, and I think that it shows and illustrates that maybe you watch a sporting event or a football game, but to actually see the stuff with that not being used, it's massive, and the scale that has to be done, and the number of people that have to work here, and to get everything ready for that one short event.
Yeah.
And then cleaned up.
Right. Yeah. It is a process. I mean, it takes, we run the back-to-back weeks during the fall, but it's kind of funny when you finish one game, you're wrapping up Monday morning, and then you're planning for that next Saturday.
That's
and
right.
It takes the entire athletic department involved. Every single department within the DIA has a hand in football game days.
And when the Bears were here, there was that one weekend where we had a game on Saturday and a Bears game on Sunday. Mm-hmm. That was amazing.
I was not here for that, but I heard stories.
And we had my son was in high school football and had a high school game on Friday night, and then he was on Monday night. He was in the JV game, right? So I had 4 football games in a row. But the contrast was astounding, going from high school to college to pro, and even the changes in the stadium, because they sold beer in the stands for that season. The Soldier Field, the professional stadium in Chicago, was being remodeled, so the Bears relocated here, and you had the busloads of fans, and it was amazing.
Yep. I've heard some interesting stories of when the Bears were in town. We love to have them, but it
took some effort.
Took some effort for sure.
It took a law change too to be able to sell beer in the open stadium area.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that was good. Well, thank you very much.
Yes.
I really appreciate this.
Glad that we could show you
We got
around.
to see a little more about how a big college stadium works.